What's going on? It's your dog, Art Man, the motherfucking great. And we're back with another boxing conversation. Yeah, I'm back. Man, it's been a minute since I've been on here. But I just wanted to chop it up with the family. Let everybody know we're on here live. Yeah, man, shit's just getting real. Like in the boxing world, a lot of people been on edge lately, man. Hold on, I'm in my whip. I'm over here about to roll something up real quick so we can chop it up. But yeah, man, a lot of people been talking that shit, man, because of boxing how it's been in the last couple weeks with Bud beating Spence and all these fights getting ordered and all these rumors about fights and failed drug tests and shit like that. Like, yeah, so boxing kind of been on edge. It kind of been on edge, man. But one thing that hasn't changed in boxing, but actually I feel like it's getting a lot worse, is the Shakur Stevenson praise. Man, oh man. And at this point, fans think put me in a position where it's like I gotta criticize Shakur Stevenson. I gotta speak on it because uh, I'm hearing things to the effect that Shakur Stevenson is just so damn good that nobody stands a chance with him, and that could be true. It could be true, but I'm just a different type of boxing fan, man. I actually got to see the fights before I can believe something like that, especially when there's a guy in the weight division that he's in that's actually doing such as in fighting the champions and becoming an undisputed champion, shit like that. You know what I'm saying? I gotta speak on it. And I hate to do the disclaimer because I always got to do this because if you don't do it, well, it don't even matter because they still gonna label me a hater. But anyways, I like Shakur Stevenson. I think he's a really good fighter. I feel like he has potential to be one of the best in boxing. But I would like to see him fight somebody first before I make that conclusion. And that somebody is Frank Martin. And I know people are saying, "Oh man, did you see Frank Martin last fight? It was tough for him. It was tough for him." Yeah, motherfucker. People have tough fights. You know that, right? Shakur Stevenson had a tough fight with what's his name? Nakafilya. Even though he outclassed Nakafilya, it was still a tough fight for him because he said he felt that man power and he had to change his whole game plan. Shit happens. But what's going to happen when Shakur goes in there with Frank Martin? And here's the thing. I'm not even picking Frank Martin to fucking win the fight, and people are calling me a hater because I said Shakur Stevenson might, might have a tough fight, and Frank Martin may expose some vulnerabilities in Shakur Stevenson. I said that, man, and people are on Twitter and Facebook saying, Art, man, don't know boxing. I don't know shit about boxing. I should kill myself because Shakur Stevenson is just the greatest ever. And to even think he would have a tough fight with somebody is asinine and you're retarded. You don't know shit about boxing. That's what folks are basically telling me. And I'm like, dude, it got me to a point where I'm noticeably frustrated because I'm posting online. I'm like, man, I don't get it. Am I just crazy or something? Because it's like, if Shakur is this damn good, why the fuck should we even watch him fight? Why should we even petition to have him fight anybody? In fact, he shouldn't fight anybody. He should just retire as the greatest fighter ever because obviously these fans believe like this motherfucker don't have to fight nobody to be great. That's what I'm saying. It's like, man, like what the fuck is that shit, dude? And it pisses me off because it's like, I seen y'all do this shit too many fucking times. Y'all literally just did this shit with Jared Anderson, my guy. And I like Jared Anderson too. Y'all just did this shit with Jared Anderson. Y'all said this guy was unbeatable. He is so fucking skilled. Wilder's trash compared to Anderson. Motherfucker, he can get over on Tyson Fury if he trained right or da 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 da. It's just all this. And then fucking he goes in there with a veteran, motherfucking Charles Martin, and gets wobbled multiple times in that fight. Yeah, he won the fight, but he got wobbled and damn near stopped in that last round. And now folks will be like, "Oh no, that's not true." If you go back and rewatch that fight, nigga, if there was a couple more minutes left, it could have been ugly for that dude. But yeah, and then fans they threw fucking Anderson in the fucking trash, saying, "Oh man, he ain't ready. He's not ready yet. This, and that." But y'all was just saying this man is fucking damn near unbeatable, and I don't respect that shit because it's like, how can you hold these guys to a high standard, and then the minute they go through some trouble, it's, oh my god, these guys was never that. They're never that. They're trash anyways. You know, I don't respect that shit, and I feel bad for Shakur honestly because if Shakur goes into a fight and he does get hurt or he does look vulnerable in a fight, you guys are gonna shit on him. You're gonna shit on him, and fans that dislike Shakur to begin with gonna shit on him even more. And it's like, dude, you see what type of position you putting these fighters in? Let them fucking earn that title. Let them earn some shit. Don't just say they this. Let them earn that shit, man. But shout out to my dude Southpaw, who's a Shakur Stevenson fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
But
Nah, but no,
we're all Shakur Stevenson fans. But I just want to see him
I
do
don't know.
good.
Are you?
Yeah, I definitely am.
I
Even
don't
though I
know. The way
don't
you
have no,
talk, man.
even though I don't have no Shakur Stevenson art on my page,
Yeah.
we'll
Nah,
we'll
but no.
get there. We'll get there.
In all seriousness, though, I was listening to what you were saying. Nah, bro. Frank Martin would give him a lot of trouble. I think Shakur ends up stopping him, or probably outclassing him. But I think he gives him a lot of help. Look, at the end of the day, bro, Frank Martin. Who the hell was the guy that Frank Martin just fought that he looked, I guess bad against? I didn't
Uh,
watch the fight, but
uh, a former Olympian. I think he
okay,
won a medal. I don't know which medal, but a former
okay. So you
Olympian
don't.
with more
So
experience than Frank Martin.
okay, so you don't. Okay, skills wise, is he better than Michelle Rivera?
Skill wise,
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I
So
believe so.
so he outclassed Michelle Rivera, who's very talented. Obviously not really accomplished anything, but talent wise, very skilled. So he outclasses him. Has some trouble with somebody who's probably better than Rivera. Olympian, like how you said, won a medal. Like, it's boxing, it happens, bro. Floyd Mayweather has struggled with guys that were nowhere near in his level, but then he'll beat the shit out of a guy who is on his level. Crawford, for example, beat the living shit out of Spence, but had trouble with Benavidez, had trouble with Mean Machine, guys who weren't even on Spence's level. You know what I mean? It happens.
And I'm
Sometimes,
glad you brought up Bud
yeah.
because when it comes to Shakur Stevenson, I'm seeing a lot of people bring up Bud and say, "Well, you see, Bud just beat Spence. Bud just beat Spence, so that means Shakur Stevenson's gonna beat Frank Martin and he's gonna beat Haney." And I'm like, "How the fuck? How did you even get that?" And they're saying because Shakur learns from Bud. He's
Yeah.
around Bud 24/7, so he basically is Bud.
Mm-hmm. See,
What do you think about shit like that?
to me, that's okay. Let me give you an example. Since they love to say, "Oh, Shakur Stevenson's around Bud 24/7," Adrian Broner was around Mayweather 24/7, and look how his career turned out. Never beat anybody good. You know what I mean? So to me, I'm not saying that Shakur Stevenson has the same demons and bad habits that Broner has, but what I'm trying to say is just because he hangs around with Bud, that doesn't mean that he's going to be as great as. I don't think he will. I don't think he's going to be as great as Bud is. Um, I think he beats Haney though. Honestly, as long as he stays consistent and he's not, fucking around and shit like that, I think he beats Haney. I think it's a close fight though. I don't think it's going to be a wash. I think it's going to be like a 7-5 or even a draw. Honestly, I think it's going to be very competitive, and whoever gets the decision, the other fan base is going to feel like their guy got robbed. It's going to be one of those one of those fights to me. But no, I think that's stupid. Just because one guy, every fighter is different. Chavez Jr. is a bum compared to his father. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who you hang out with, who you're around. That doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, you're your own person, and that's
Man,
it.
But you can
Just what
say
it
that,
is.
but if you go online, bro, and say that, man, they're gonna say, dude, you don't know shit about boxing because
Oh, of course.
Shakur Stevenson hangs out with Bud Crawford.
That means what? That don't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. Look, Shakur Stevenson, we all know, me and you both know. I know you're a bigger Haney fan. Obviously, I'm a Shakur fan. We both know he's going to be great. As long as he stays dedicated and he doesn't have any, fuck ups in his life, he's going
And
to be
that's
great. He's
something
going to
we
be a
can
great
all
fighter.
can agree on. But the
100%.
whole Shakur Stevenson just beats everybody with ease, and nobody can compare to him.
No,
Man, I'm gonna have to see that before I believe it.
nah, nah,
And
even me, bro.
it could be true,
Bro, I'm
but
one.
I gotta
I'm one
see
of
it.
Shakur's biggest fans, and you know that. And I'll tell you right now, if Frank Martin gives him problems. He beats Frank Martin in my opinion, but if Martin gives him a lot of problems. Haney gives him a lot of problems. Tank gives him a lot of problems. There's a lot of guys at 135, 140 right now that I feel like could trouble Shakur. I think he beats probably most of them, but I don't think it's easy. I think
I think
he's gonna
Shakur beats
struggle.
Frank Martin on points,
Yeah,
but I think when it comes to fighting in the inside, Shakur might take a couple punches in the inside that he doesn't
yes,
expect
100%.
from because it's a difference from fighting guys like Valdez and then fighting a guy like Frank Martin. And I know folks are going to say, well, Valdez is this and that, but you got to look at just the skills and the attributes that these
Right,
guys have. Frank
right.
Martin has a lot of speed and he has power in both hands, and
Yes.
he's a good inside fighter.
Hmm.
To think that Shakur Stevenson is just going to steamroll this guy is a
Hmm.
little bit crazy because it's
Yeah,
like,
it's not gonna happen. It's not
yeah,
gonna happen.
it's like, come on, dude. You
Like
know Shakur
base.
Stevenson is gonna if he's training to fight Frank Martin, he's not gonna be training the same way he fought Valdez or training the same way he's fought Dr. Phil. He's gonna be training because he knows this guy is gonna come in there looking to win and try to
Yes.
upset. He's not gonna be in there taking this guy lightly like people
Right.
on Twitter is. I heard people say Frank Martin is mediocre.
Nah, they
I said,
tripping.
"Oh my
They
God,
tripping.
bro!" I said,
They
"Man,
tripping.
I don't know if I can
That's
talk
got
this
to
boxing
be
shit with you guys."
that's got to be hate based off of a Spence because doesn't he train in Spence's camp?
Yes, he's
Yeah,
Spence fighter, and
yeah,
they saying that
yeah. That's got
basically
to be because that's got to be hate.
it's gonna look like Bud versus
No,
Spence. Is
no,
that's what they're telling me?
absolutely not. Listen, first and foremost, Shakur is not on Bud's level. Number one. And stylistically speaking, like just based off of the eye test, as we all know, the great saying, styles make fights, it ain't resumes. You know what I mean? A guy could have the greatest resume and lose to another guy whose resume really isn't that good, Bevo Canelo, for example, just because of their style. You know? So Frank Martin, stylistically, out of all the guys that we mentioned, Haney, Shakur, Tank, all them guys, I think Frank Martin stylistically gives Shakur the most problems, honestly. It's just based off of a foot placement, hand speed, combinations, things like that. He's much more slicker, you know. So
The reason why I think uh, Frank could do damage is because I seen Frank close the gap. I seen him with his short ass arms find
yes,
his way in the inside and hurt a
yep,
guy multiple
yep,
times. Even if you think the guy was a bum or whatever, or you think whatever, he was still able to hurt the guy, hurt
right,
his opponents. He hurts everybody he fought. Everybody he fought, he hurt him.
right. Honestly,
So
no,
shout
that
out to
fight,
everybody in the chat, man. Shout out to everybody in the chat writing these
yeah.
comments. Just
So no, but
yeah, go ahead.
them dudes on Twitter, bro. I've learned to I can't. One thing you can't do in on Twitter or X now, I guess it's called. You can't talk boxing on there. Ain't nothing but trolls, guys with fake profiles calling you out your name, yada yada. You know what I mean? Like, you can't take
Yeah,
X
man.
boxing serious. Like you just can't. You know what I mean? So
A
this shit is stupid.
guy told me that Derek James is falling off because Spence lost.
Oh my god, see what I'm talking about?
He's they're basically saying he's less of a trainer because Spence lost to Bud.
So what happens if Charlo beats Canelo? Then what? Is he all of a sudden trainer of the year again? Like these dudes switch up all the time, bro. You know what I mean? All it takes is just that one loss, that one L, or that one bad performance. All of a sudden, look, let me tell you something. And I'm sure you know this already because you've probably seen it with your own eyes. But when Boots had that, quote unquote bad performance against that Karen guy from the Ukraine, everybody was writing him off. Oh, he ain't shit. He
They
ain't as good
wrote
as we
him
thought.
off.
Yep,
I
he
seen
ain't
it.
as good as he thought. Blah blah blah. Then all of a sudden, he beats the shit out of Romain Villa, And now all of a sudden, oh, Boots is that guy. Boots will beat Spence. He'll beat Bud. You know what I mean? Like these dudes switch up all the time. You know what I mean? It's sad.
Prime
It's sad.
example too is Jared Anderson.
Hmm. Yeah, that's
They're
another guy.
I'm telling you, bro, they're just saying that Jared Anderson will easily beat Wilder because he's much skilled than Wilder. He can do
Hmm.
this. He's fast. Got these combinations. I'm
Hmm.
like, dog. All right. He goes in there with fucking Charles Martin, an old
Hmm.
ass veteran. We know Charles Martin would get washed by Wilder. He
Yeah,
got washed
for
by
sure.
AJ. He went in there and gave Anderson the toughest fight of his career.
Hmm.
Wobbled him, buckled him a couple times in that fight.
Hmm.
And folks were saying, damn, if this was a 12-round fight, I don't know.
Hmm.
If now folks are writing him off. But just
Yep.
months ago, you guys were saying this guy beats Wilder. Now y'all saying, man, if you put him in there with Wilder, Wilder, then they'll kill this nigga.
Right. Right. So, but that's how it is, bro. Like, all it takes is one bad performance. I'm telling you, a guy could have, let's say a guy is 40-0, he could have 39 solid, amazing performances. He has that one, and it's over. He has that one bad performance, it's over. Oh, he's a
Yeah, they
bum.
tell
He
him
ain't
Spence
shit.
to
Yep.
retire. They say you're done. You're done
Oh
for
my
Spence. You're
goodness
garbage.
gracious.
You're
See what
trash.
I
I'm
mean?
like, man.
Oh
And
my
then,
goodness gracious.
and my thing for the Bud fans, because Bud fans, I'm gonna have to speak on it. You
Mm.
guys, y'all do understand Bud was the favorite in that fight. So you picking Bud to win is not that special. Yes, he won. Great fighter. He beat Spence. Most definitely. He's the best fighter in the world to me right now, Bud Crawford.
Yep. Yep.
But to act like you're just some boxing genius for picking
Tough,
Bud,
bro.
it doesn't work that. Because folks are
Listen.
now going forward saying whatever prediction they have now is law because Bud beat Spence.
Yes, yeah, pretty much, bro. I remember seeing one guy boast about when Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia. Oh, Spence is gonna win easy. And literally everybody in the world picked Spence. And after the fight was over, he made a post like, "Oh yeah, y'all can't talk boxing with me. I'm the GOAT." I'm like, bro, stop, like, chill. Yeah, I mean, you don't need to be an expert in Dragon Ball Z to understand Goku beats the shit out of Krillin. Like, you don't, you know what I mean? Like these dudes act like like they're spitting some like crazy, like a hot take. Like, bro, relax, calm down. You know what I'm saying?
You said
Um,
Anderson don't got the experience Wilder has. Yeah, and that's it's different, man. With the heavyweight division, it's really
oh,
different
very,
because
very.
you can be throwing punches like motherfucking Anderson, how he has great at combinations and shit like that. But
Mhm.
nigga, that one straight awkward 1-2 can fuck
That's all
that
it
shit
takes.
all the way up,
That is all it takes. In the
and we've
heavyweight
seen it.
division, I'm telling you, anybody can be anybody because all it takes is just that one punch. The heavyweight power is different, you know.
And then we talk
So,
about Wilder, who got freakish power. So it's like,
mhm,
yeah, nigga, you could one unorthodox punch from him can fuck around
that's
and
right.
have you on the canvas.
Listen, he had, in my opinion, I don't know how you feel, but in my opinion, Tyson Fury is the best defensive fighter in boxing. I mean, I'm sorry, in the heavyweight division, and he dropped him what 3, 4 times
Three,
in
four
the three
times.
fights.
And I
You know
know
what I
we
mean?
like to
So
argue about we love I know we like to argue about it, but man, those counts. Let's just say, man, if it was a different referees in those fights, we all know that shit could have been called off.
no, no, for sure,
But
for
just
sure.
but
And
but I get what
even
you're
in the
saying.
first
I get
fight,
what you're saying. I get what you're saying. It's
even in the first fight, when I thought he was done. When he dropped, any other referee would have waved it off, wouldn't even have counted. So I get what you're saying. But nah, bro. Like when it comes to the heavyweight division, bro, like there's levels to this. I'm sorry. Skill wise, yeah, Jared Anderson might be better than Wilder, but can he avoid that 1-2? Probably not. If Fury couldn't avoid it, I don't think he can.
and
You know.
even some even when people say more skill, what do you throw in more skill? Like, are you saying like he has better boxing fundamentals, or are you saying like he has a
Well,
better IQ to know when you're hurt and how to get
well.
you out of here?
So let
Because
me just let me explain what I mean by that. All right. So Deontay Wilder, once upon a time, used to be a very well, maybe not like a great boxer, but he used to box well. He boxed well against Deverne the first fight. Um, he there's been fights before he kind of like fell in love with his right hand where he has shown that he can actually box, and he abandoned all that. And that's why he brought in I forgot his name. What's the guy that he
Malik
brought in
Scott,
to train Malik Scott? Malik Scott, Malik Scott brought him in, and in the third fight against Fury in the first round, he kind of started showing those like quote unquote skills again. He was jabbing a lot to the body, and I was like, okay, this is a different Wilder than
Nigga, but
usual.
once Fury put that nigga in that fucking headlock uppercut,
That's all it
that's when
was.
Wilder threw that. He threw that shit out the window. Said,
Yeah,
"All right,
he said,
nah,
"Fuck
fuck
this!
all that."
I'm trying to knock this dude out." You know what I mean?
And he
Um,
almost did it with that fourth round,
no,
but you
yeah,
know how
he
that
did.
shit go.
He did, but what I'm trying to say is he abandoned all that. So now it's just all he relies on in his right hand. That's why I say that Jared Anderson is more skilled because he doesn't just rely on his right hand. Like he tries to box, he tries. I'm not saying that he's a master boxer or anything like that, but he tries to use his jab, shit like that.
He,
So
Jared Anderson, from what I remember from that fight, I gotta rewatch it. But he was throwing like the same combination, and it just wasn't working all the
mhm.
time. It'll catch him, but then he'll just reset. He'll give his opponent time to reset, and it's like we already know if Wilder is fighting Charles Martin, there's no way he will let him sit there and fucking recover
Right.
and throw another 1-2.
No,
No, there's no
absolutely not.
way. There's no
No,
way.
no.
So
Water.
honestly,
Listen,
I
water
think
has you
about
hurt is
I think
over.
about boxing IQ of like of knowing how to kill your opponent, knowing how to take
Yes.
them out.
Right. Right.
That
And
that's
and
that's a skill itself.
yeah, to me, the best finisher in boxing right now is Crawford. He's got you hurt. He's getting you out of here. Killer instinct wise, though, Wilder's up there. You know,
I
Wilder's
think
up there.
I think it's a tie between no, it's the top three finishers. I would say top four finishers is number one. I want to say Bud Crawford.
Yeah, it has to be Crawford. Every
Yeah,
time
and
he
then
hurts
number
you,
two,
he takes you out
I'll
of there.
say Wilder. Number three, I'll say Tank, and number four, Better Beef.
Better be okay. Yeah, that's not a bad list. Yeah, I might incline. I might be in agreement with you. Wilder to me, he's top three for sure. I like tank finishing guys a little bit more. But if whatever way you want to swing it, I'm okay with. But Wilder's, top three. He's got you hurt 95% of the time. He's getting you out of there. Against a guy like Jared Anderson, to be honest with you, but I think that fight probably ends in like 3 or 4 rounds. I'm sorry, Jared Anderson, as good as he is, he's not ready for that moment. He's still a child.
I feel like that's people say, well, he fight like a middleweight and heavyweight. I don't think that's a good thing. And I know
No.
people they're gonna crucify me when I say I don't think that's a good thing because when you're throwing combinations like that and you can't get your guy out of there,
Mm-hmm.
and then you're getting tired while your guy is still there,
Yep.
it's dangerous.
Yep.
It's real dangerous. You
Mm-hmm.
go in there throwing the fucking combinations body up top to the body, you know what I'm saying? Some Roy
Mm-hmm.
Jones shit, and your
Yeah. No.
opponent's still there looking at you. And
Yeah.
you're
No.
tired after throwing that shit. That shit is crazy, man.
Yeah, Jared Anderson. Jared Anderson, right now, to me, he still has a lot to show me and to improve on. He's not ready for that. You know what I mean? Like he barely got made it out alive against Charles Martin. You know what I mean? And Charles Martin, I'm sure me and you can both agree he is not a good fighter. You know what I mean?
He's
I don't.
he's decent. He's
He,
decent, but
I don't know, bro.
come
I
on
don't know.
now. Guys like Adam Kaunaki got over on motherfucking Charles
Yeah.
Martin.
So, in my opinion, like I said, Jared Anderson has a lot to show and prove before he can even go in there and fuck with any of these guys from the top five. You know, um, but anyways, back to to the Shakur Frank Martin shit.
Back to Shakur versus
Yeah,
Frank Martin,
Shakur,
man.
bro. Listen, bro, I love Shakur. I really do. I like the guy. One of my favorite fighters right now. But no, in my opinion, there's a lot of guys. Even at 140, if he goes up to 40, and T.O. probably gives him a good fight. Josh Taylor might fuck around, give him a good fight. It's all based off of styles. You know what I mean? Like I hate this whole what has he done, who has he beaten shit. Like that's not what wins fights. You know what I mean? It's about styles, and Frank
But
Martin, like I said,
what one thing I can
stylistically,
gauge though, I hate that Haney fought guys like Lomachenko and or just top guys in general, and you can see that okay, this guy can get touched. Things can happen when you're fighting these
right?
type of guys. And then there's guys like Shakur who hasn't fought the level of Lomachenko, and folks are like, "Whoa, look how he's doing. He's whooping guys. He's whooping guys easy." It's like, well, damn, nigga,
Mm-hmm.
you can't really gauge that because one is fighting a different level of opponents than the other. So of
Right.
course you're gonna see a little chinks in the armor when you're
Mhm.
fighting that type of competition, and that's
I,
why
I
I
I get
want
what
to
you're
see
saying.
Shakur fight the guys that's gonna trouble him, and I'm not even
Yeah, no, me
picking him.
too.
I'm not even picking Frank Martin to beat him, but I want to
Mhm.
see that fight because I believe personally that Frank Martin can give him troubles in that fight.
Yeah. No, no, that's what I'm saying too. Look, Frank Martin would give him probably the toughest fight out of all the guys that I mentioned. Honestly, like I said,
But if he
just
goes
based
in
off
there and
of the
outclass him,
eye
then the
test.
shit could be true.
Yeah, no, if he goes out, he goes there, yeah, and beats him up 12 rounds or even stops him, then I'm like, damn, like maybe it is true. Maybe Shakur can beat all these guys up. You know what I mean? Based off of the eye test, I favor Shakur against pretty much every guy that I just mentioned. But I could be wrong. You know, I've been wrong before. We've all been wrong before. Devin might fuck around and beat him, outclass him. Frank Martin could fuck around and stop him. We don't know.
While we
You know, we need to see
keep it
these
a
guys.
buck with you guys,
Mhm.
honestly feel like Shakur versus Haney at 135 won't be good on Haney's end because the weight cut and I
It's
don't
too
feel like
much. It's too much.
it'll be too much for him, especially for a guy just moving up to 135.
Right.
I
Right.
feel
No,
like
I
at
don't.
140 it'll be more
Yeah.
competitive,
Yeah. I don't
and
like that fight at 35.
I'm rooting for
Um,
Haney in that fight for
yeah.
sure.
If I'm a Haney fan, I don't like that fight at 35. He needs to. I don't know if he was able to
I'm
hold
tired of
on
seeing
to.
fighters fight at a weight class that they grew out of,
Yeah.
i.e.,
Pretty
Bud
much.
Crawford versus Spence.
Right. So I was saying, I don't know if Haney was able to hold on to the, I think it was a WBO belt or something, or one of those belts at 135. But yeah, no, I don't like him being at 135 at all whatsoever. I think he's like 2 years out of that weight division. Yeah, if I'm a Haney fan, I don't want him at 35 anymore. I think the
Bro,
fight is much better at
I don't
40,
see how
but
these
we have
niggas
to
do
wait.
it. I'm not a
I don't know.
professional
I don't know
boxer.
either.
I'm not a professional boxer, but I'm still a
Bro,
grown ass man.
did you
Man,
see?
it's hard dropping weight to the extreme like that
Hmm.
and then
Yeah,
having to perform at that weight.
yeah. Did you
Like,
see
man, and the
Regis
food is
Progress
too
cutting
damn.
weight?
Huh?
Did you see that video of Regis Progress cutting weight?
Yeah, I seen
That
that a
shit
while
looks
ago.
depressing, bro.
I
Like, yo,
seen
who
that
wants
shit a
to go
while
through that
ago.
shit, bro? The
And I'm
man
like,
couldn't
bro,
even walk. I'm like, yo,
nigga,
y'all tripping.
food is too good. And these niggas got money to buy all the type of
I
food
swear to
they
God,
want
bro.
when they want.
I swear to God,
So it's
that
like,
shit, that shit
there's
is
no way.
torturous, bro.
Just fight
Hmm.
at your weight class, man. Like,
Hmm.
fight at your
But
weight.
but but that's easy to say. But the thing is, bro, if you tell Devin Haney to fight at his weight class, probably 147. Honestly, he's big, yo. He's a big dude. You know, 40, 47. I think he might even be too big for 40. To be honest with you. But the problem is, and you know, no disrespect to Devin, but he ain't got that kind of pop to keep guys off of him at at
At
the bigger weight
147,
classes. Right.
and that's
I don't.
and I feel
Yeah.
like the same can be said about a lot of fighters.
Hmm. But because look, Floyd didn't have the pop to keep. Well, he did, but his
Shakur don't
power
got the
wasn't.
pop to fight at 147.
He doesn't. Absolutely not. He barely got pop at 135. You know what I mean? So these dudes going up, moving up weight classes might not really be the best thing for them because they ain't got the kind of punching power that like
Then that's why
that Tank has.
why niggas need to just go ahead and get their skill game up.
Right, right. Floyd was able to do it. Floyd, his power wasn't like crazy. It was respectable, but it was not, it wasn't no like Mike Tyson shit. But his defense and skills made up for it. You know, Devin
Then they go
Haney
kill shit. They'll kill
defense ain't
Shakur at
that.
4. Imagine Shakur versus Boots Ennis at 147.
No, I get it. I got you. It wouldn't be good for him, but that's what I'm trying to say. Like maybe moving up to their weight classes where they should be at isn't what's best for them. You know what I mean? Um,
Health wise, it is
no, health wise, yes, but like power
because
wise and shit like
I
that is
I
not.
heard something. No, I read something before saying that fighters they get more injured, or just athletes in general, they get more injured when they're dehydrated
Mhm.
to the
Right.
brain. When their
Yes.
brain is dehydrated, that's
Yes.
when you're able to get. That's when that injury comes more faster, basically.
Yes. Yes.
And
And that's what happened to Roy Jones against Antonio Tarver. He moved up to heavyweight, and then like within I don't know 3 4 months, he went right back down to 175 to fight Tarver. had a really bad showing, and then the next fight he got knocked
I
the
tried to
fuck out.
explain this to my uncle last night. Matter of
Yeah.
fact, I tried to
Hmm.
explain this to my uncle last night because he was like, "Well, didn't Spence have enough time to get down to 147 to fight Bud?" And I'm like, "Yeah, he did, but you got to perform at that weight,
Hmm.
and you've
Hmm.
been at that weight class for a long time. As a
Yeah.
grown ass man, it's hard."
Right. Hmm.
I
But
feel like honestly,
also, go ahead.
honestly, I feel like if they fought at 154, the fight will be different. I don't know if Spence will win that fight, but I feel like it'll be different.
I don't
It
know,
wouldn't
bro,
look like how it
because
looked.
okay, let me just ask you this. Let me just let's say the fight takes place at 154 next. Like, what do you think Spence does different at 154? Like, in all honesty.
In all honesty, I feel like at 154, I feel like he'll be able to take a punch better. Um, I feel like he could. I wouldn't say be faster. But I just feel like he'll be more durable and
Hmm.
stronger,
Okay,
and
so not as
physically he'll be
not as
better.
gassed. Okay, all
Yeah,
right,
physically, I
all right.
just feel like he'll be better.
I
But
don't know, bro.
at this point, like a lot of people believe, he could be damaged goods just from
Hmm.
all he's been through.
Yep.
But I feel like if the fight was at 154, regardless,
Hmm.
and Spencer's health was at 100% or somewhat close to that, I feel like it would be different.
I don't know. You might be right. You might be right. But either way, I think Crawford, stylistically, it's just I think he beats him no matter
Man,
what weight
as
class
some
they fight at.
nigga, I'm gonna keep it 1,000 with y'all. When I watched that fight live, right? When I see Spence throwing that first jab and that shit was slow as fuck,
Mhm.
I already knew in my heart that that nigga was gonna lose that
Yeah,
fucking
but
fight.
Spence was never a fast fighter though.
And here's the thing, he was never that fucking slow either. Let's be real.
I
People
don't know,
acting
bro.
like, let's be real. People looking at the fight like, oh man, that's just Spence. You know, Spence was just, that's just him. Nah, nigga, let's be real. He was not that fucking slow in
I
the
didn't see
fucking
him.
Gigas fight,
I
bro.
didn't see him
He
as
was
slow
not
as
that
slow
slow
as
in the
you.
goddamn Danny Garcia. Even in the
I
Danny
I
Garcia fight,
think
he
you're over
wasn't goddamn
exaggerating it a
slow.
little. A little. I
Hell
think you're
no.
over exaggerating.
Hell
He
no.
was okay. He did not look that slow to me. Yeah, I mean, you're making it seem like he was like some like Brandon Rios type of speed. Like that is slow. That's
Bro,
super
he was
slow.
slow as
He
fuck
looked
in that
normal to
fight.
me.
Let's be real. Say
I don't
EJ
know.
deserved a rematch. Plenty of fighters got their ass beat and came back and won. Spence lost so bad I can't
But
see much
you also
improvement.
got to remember too, Art man. Like
Hold on. Let me read some of these
Oh,
comments.
oh my bad. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Spence lost so bad I can't see much improvements. He couldn't connect. He lost because his punches didn't connect, and he didn't because his punches didn't connect, and he didn't gauge his pace. I'm keeping has always been slow. Always said they fought until he was not Spence. Stop it, guy. Okay, so some people in the comments saying Spence said he's always been that slow, and then somebody else saying that nah, that dude that fought on 28 was not Spence. Stop it, guy.
Well, the problem is you've never seen Spence lose a fight, so of course you're gonna feel like that. But at the end of the day, guys, you got to remember too. It also depends on who you are in there with. Like for example, let me give you a perfect example: Manny Pacquiao against guys like Timothy Bradley, against guys like Brandon Rios. These guys that are really weren't defensively sounded, or he was looking like fucking Muhammad Ali in there with them, throwing combinations, using these angles. Against Chris Algieri, he dropped them like 7 times, and you know what I mean. Like he was looking phenomenal against these guys. Then he goes to fight Mayweather, and guess what? Boom! It all goes out the window because he's in there with a guy that's much better. There is levels to all this, so you could feel like that wasn't this, Spence in that fight. But guess what? It also depends on who you're in that ring with. That's just how it is, bro. You've been watching boxing long enough to know this.
So
You know
okay,
what I mean?
so question: when Wilder fought Fury in the second fight, and Wilder said he wasn't himself in that second fight, why is it didn't look exactly the same in the third fight?
You said why? You said why
Physically,
did it look? Why did
why
he or why
physically?
didn't he?
Why didn't he physically?
Well, he put on muscle too for the third fight. Got to remember that he put on like 10, 15 pounds of muscle against in the second fight. He didn't have that much muscle. Honestly, to be honest with you, I think in the third fight, if he doesn't put on all that muscle, he does a lot better.
No, I don't know. I don't know. Now
I think
that
so.
sounds a little different to me because like he didn't feel himself in that fight. But then the third fight, he looked like a completely different fighter from that second fight.
No, he looked much better in the third fight. I agree with you there. But like I said, I think it also had to do with who he was in there with, and not only that. So you got to remember, Tyson Fury, and we know this. He does a lot of shit in there that's illegal that he can get away with. He was leaning on Wilder a lot. All that shit takes a toll on you, and then getting hit in the ear, your equilibrium is it's all fucked up. You know what I mean? So all that plays a major key into how he looked the second fight. The third fight, he didn't get caught there. You know what I mean? So he looked a little bit better. A little bit too, our man, because he was still getting, beat up that fight.
So what does Devin Haney lack that Shakur has?
Okay,
That's what
this is
I
just
want
what
to
I,
know.
this is
Because
just
I
what
be
I think.
looking at
My
it like,
personal
man,
opinion.
I get it. Shakur is good, but come on, bro. Y'all acting
Well,
like
look,
this nigga is just Jesus Christ in the ring.
well, look, me, but obviously, I've never been hit by the guy or nothing like that. I've never been in there, but based off of strictly the eye test, it looks like Shakur throws he throws obviously more punches, better combination fighter in my opinion, and he looks like he's got a little bit more pop than Devin does. Now by a lot, it's not like it's not like he's tank or anything like that by any means, but you could tell he has better pop. Obviously, he throws more combinations. Think of it like this. I think, in my opinion, Shakur fights more like Pretty Boy, and Devin fights more like Money Man. You know, um, but they're not like levels apart when it comes to skills. Like they're not. Oh my God, this guy is so much better. I just think Shakur's a little bit better than Haney.
I'm letting it go. I'm letting it go off. I was just about to say that, but go ahead.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, Shakur, in my opinion, I think he has better pop. Throws obviously more punches. He's more active. He's more busier, and he doesn't get hit as often as Devin does. That's about it.
Okay, I wholeheartedly disagree with the fact that you said he punches more than Devin Haney. I definitely don't think he punches more than Devin Haney. Can you agree with this assessment with Shakur Stevenson? I feel like Shakur Stevenson fights at his own pace and
Yes.
his own distance.
Hmm. Yes. So okay, so let me ask you a question.
And
You said
hold on.
you
And I feel like
okay. Go
the reason why you see Devin Haney getting hit more is because he's throwing way more punches and combinations. He's actually sitting in
ahead.
there and trying to trade with you and
Nah,
boxing you.
I don't know about that. But let me ask
He
you this: Do
sat
you
there and
ever?
he just sat there and traded with George Kambosos and Lomachenko. He wasn't on his bike
No, he didn't. No,
in the
you're
second
right. He
fight
wasn't
and the
running.
Lomachenko fight. He sat right in the pocket and boxed
Hmm.
with those dudes.
Right, right, right. But
I feel
look, let
like
me.
Shakur Stevenson. Hold on. I feel like Shakur Stevenson. Going back to what I said, my assessment on him. I feel like he
Yeah.
fights at his own pace and his own distance. And if he fights somebody who's going to throw a lot of punches at him
Hmm.
and give him different type of looks, it's going to be troubling.
Bro,
Because
listen.
once he can't control the distance, what is he going to do?
Hmm.
He's going to get countered if he
Hmm.
tries to overthrow.
All right, but look, what I'm saying is, I don't see Devin Haney throwing 4 or 5 punches at a time. I don't see that. Tell me what fight. Maybe I'm missing it. Maybe I got to rewatch the fight because I don't see that. That's something that Shakur does. He throws more punches. He's much more busier than Devin Haney. So like I said,
I disagree.
if you disagree, then you got
What
to
what
tell
fight
me what.
what fight what fight?
Okay, Jamal against Jamal Herring, against who's that Mexican dude that he fought? Valdez, against the Asian dude he just fought. I forget his name. Whatever his name is, the Asian dude he just fought, Japanese guy or Chinese guy, whatever.
So Devin
Uh,
wasn't throwing a lot of punches in the George Kambosos 2 fight,
no, no,
the
no, no, no,
first
no, no.
fight.
Again, yes, yes, against
They
George
said Devin
Kambosos,
Haney
yes,
what threw like 1,000 jabs in that fight. What are we
yes,
saying
no.
here?
Devin Haney against George Kambosos, yes, but against Lomachenko, his punch output was not the same.
That's
So
against
Devin,
Lomachenko.
right, right,
But he still
and
threw a lot of punches in that fight.
he did. But what I'm trying to tell you is
What about the Nakafila fight? The fight that everybody said was boring.
the which fight?
Nakatilia, the African cop.
Nah, I don't remember that fight. When was that?
You don't remember that's the fight where he said he got hurt in the fight.
Wait, it was that one. I thought it was Linares where he got hurt. Wait,
No,
are
I'm
you
talking
talking
about
about
I'm talking about
Devin or are
Shakur.
you talking about Shakur? Okay, Shakur. My bad. That's why I was confused a little bit. Um, but no, listen. What I'm trying to say is like I seen Devin Haney. His thing is just like 1-1-2, 1-2. That's pretty much like what he's his best asset. Shakur, he's more of like 3-4. Like he throws 3-4-5 punches at a time. You know. Um,
Shakur fights and look. D High says Shakur does not throw more. Shakur may throw more combination, but he fights
yes,
in
that's
spurts.
what I'm saying. Combination.
Haney
He throws
throws
more combinations.
more punches over the whole course of the fight.
Or man, what I'm trying to tell you is he throws more combinations than Devin. He throws 3-4-5 punches at a time.
But they're in spurts. And that's what I'm
Right.
saying. And that goes back to what I'm saying. He fights at his own pace. Now, if
Mm-hmm.
he's fighting somebody who's throwing a lot of jabs, straight right hands, left hooks like Devin Haney, short hooks in the inside, and
Mm-hmm.
sticking and moving, it's going to be
Mm-hmm.
a different fight. Or if he's fighting a guy like uh, Tank, who's going to wait on your counter as well, that's just going to be a fucking boring fight until Tank land that shit probably stop his ass.
You think he stopped Shakur?
It's going to be like this.
I wouldn't put money on it, bro.
It's gonna be like this. If Shakur fights Tank, I feel like it's gonna be in a situation where it's gonna be boring at first because they're gonna be, you know, waiting to see who throws the first punch. But
Mm-hmm.
once Shakur notices that he's down on cards and his fucking Tank's a pro Tank crowd,
Mm-hmm.
he's gonna jump in and try to do something stupid. I think Tank's speed is underrated, and I feel like he's gonna catch Shakur with some clean coming in,
Nah, I don't
and
know
he's
about
probably
that.
gonna wobble Shakur. And you know
I
how
don't
that
know
shit
about that.
goes. Let's be real. Shakur, he said when he got punched by Nakafilya,
Mm-hmm.
he said that was the hardest he's ever been punched in his career.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a good poker face because he said he was really hurting there. And even
Mm-hmm.
in the Valdez fight, he says Valdez caught me with a body shot, but
Yep.
nobody noticed. But nigga, that shit hurted the fuck out of my ass.
Yep. And
I'm
and,
telling
and
you,
you know
bro.
what's interesting about that? You know what's interesting about that? He said that was the hardest body shot he's ever taken, and you didn't even notice. Nobody
Yeah,
noticed.
you
So
didn't
he
notice.
obviously he can take a punch very well. As to where Devin Haney,
I,
he's been
you
rocked
know what I
multiple
think it is?
times. Was that?
I think he could take a single punch really well. I don't think he
Uh,
can take a combination of punches like that coming at him because
uh,
a lot of his
you might be
times,
right.
I feel like the opponents he's fighting, their IQ, they don't know that he felt that. They
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that he felt that, so they're not going to press the issue.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think you're right on
Fighters
that.
like Devin and Tank, I feel like their IQ is above that, and I feel like they're going to know
You
what's
think
going
Devin
on.
actually hurt Shakur though? Honestly,
Hurt him?
yeah.
I wouldn't think he'll wobble him. I feel like he got enough pop that Shakur will respect him. I don't feel like Shakur is going to try to walk through it. If he does, Devin's just going to throw more punches, and it's going to be a more entertaining fight.
Mm-hmm.
But Shakur doesn't do that against somebody that's skilled like Devin.
Mm-hmm. Oh, my bad. I'm just reading some of the comments.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
He said he said when Devin and Shakur fight. I don't know if he's asking me to bet me 500. You talking to me or you talking to the guy in the comments like Spo J or sorry TC? Um, so Shakur is gonna style on Tank for the first six and I get cracked. Disagree with that. Okay, right here. Okay, so Spo J says Shakur 15 punches per round to Haney's 14. So he's busier, not by much,
It
by
says
1 pound per
Shakur throw
round, but
43.7
he throws more. He throws more. He said Shakur threw 44%. I just rounded up to 44% or 44%. So yeah, so percentage wise, they're about the same. But both guys are accurate, bro. Both guys are accurate punchers. One, in my
So
opinion, says go ahead.
my question is, y'all, why didn't Shakur Stevenson just take that 25%?
Oh my God, here we go with that. Okay, let me let me
Because
let me just explain
if he's
something,
so confident
please.
in beating him, then what's up with that?
Okay, so first and foremost, in boxing, everybody knows you don't take the first offer. You don't. Devin Haney did it against Camboso. Yes, God bless him. He became undisputed champion. But listen, bro, when Cambosos beat Teofimo Lopez, everybody was licking their chops. Everybody wanted to fight Kambosos because they knew he was the weakest champion in boxing. He was not a paper champ, but he's what do you call it? Easy pickings. Easy pickings. You know what I mean? So everybody, Shakur, I promise you, if Kambosos would have offered Shakur 25%, he would have taken it because that is such an easy fight. Devin Haney is not an easy fight. Shakur Stevenson is not an easy fight. You know what I mean? So come on, bro. You
So
got to
okay,
understand that.
so you feel like Shakur Stevenson knew that Devin Haney was not an easy fight, so he was not willing to
Yes.
take 25%.
Yes. Okay, let me ask you, is
And you
Devin
know
Haney an
what?
easy fight?
I'm just
Hold on.
trying to
Answer the
tell you.
question. Answer the question.
No, I
Is
was gonna
Devin
agree.
Haney an
I was
easy
gonna
fight?
agree with you. I was gonna say. I'm
Okay,
going to
go ahead.
say that Shakur Stevenson. That is absolutely right, and I believe that is why he did not take the 25% as
Absolutely, that's
well.
what I'm trying to say. Now, if let's say it was I don't know 70-30 or 65-35, and then Shakur says no, then I would be on your side. I'd be like, I don't know, that sounds like a duck to me
Nah,
because 35,
the reason why nah is because 5% more. Come on, bro. Think about it.
yeah,
This is
bro.
a
What do you mean
chance to
5%?
you're
5%
fighting.
more is a lot of money. What?
No. Think about it. You're fighting for all four belts in
Mm-hmm,
one fight, bro.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
If you beat
right.
Devin Haney,
Mm-hmm,
you can walk into a tank. You know, bro. Let's be real. The pressure for Javante Davis to fight Shakur Stevenson if you beat Devin Haney will be
mm-hmm.
fucking crazy. Can
Yeah.
you agree?
Yes.
Can you agree?
Yeah.
So you don't think that's worth the risk?
But you also got to understand, bro. You also got to understand. Let me give you another perfect example. Do you remember when Floyd Mayweather offered Manny Pacquiao a flat fee of $40 million for their fight? You remember that? And Manny
No,
Pacquiao
I
told
don't.
him
I
go.
don't remember. I don't
You
remember
remember
that.
that? Okay, so back in like 2009 or something like that, when Pacquiao was like like the top dog, quote unquote, Floyd Mayweather called him up and talked to him directly and said, "Yo, I did my homework. I know how much you made in the past. I'm gonna offer you $40 million flat. I'm gonna wire you $20 million today and the rest after the fight, or in 48 hours, something like that." Manny Pacquiao said 50-50, fuck off, and then gave the phone back to his manager. So, 10 years later, 2015, guess how much Manny Pacquiao ended up getting for that fight? 200 something million dollars. Now imagine if he would have taken that 40 million. You get what I'm saying? Like you can't, and
I
it's for all the
understand.
marbles.
Look,
It's for
I
all the
understand
marbles,
what you're
bro. It was
saying.
for
I understand what you're saying, but Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney are not in the position of Floyd Mayweather and Manny
no. I
Pacquiao.
understand. I understand. You're
You know, not
100%
even
right. You're
close.
100%
Let's
right.
be real.
Yeah, no, you're
But
100% right. But what I'm trying to tell you is,
but you know what position they're in? They're in the position of Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns when they fought at welterweight.
mhm,
Both young in their career,
right?
and they got that shit out early, and
Mhm,
both went on to have tremendous careers.
yes, correct, correct.
That's
Now
what
look,
I'm saying. Like,
but
what are
look,
we talking about here? We
what I'm
don't have to
telling you,
over. And look at the Mayweather versus fucking Manny Pacquiao fight. That shit was fucking whack. And I
yeah,
picked
it was
Mayweather to
boring.
win the fight. It was
Mhm.
whack, bro. Canelo versus Mayweather was more fun than that shit.
Okay, that's interesting. I've never heard somebody say that, but anyways, um, but no, look, what I'm trying to get at. Yes, I understand Mayweather, Pacquiao were levels above Shakur and Devin, pay per view wise, skills wise, whatever. What I'm trying to tell you is, sometimes just because it's for all the marbles, it's still these fighters still look at it as okay.
Exactly,
What if I lose
and
that fight?
that contradicts everything that's said about Shakur Stevens. Because
What?
like, how
Yeah.
can you say this guy's the boogeyman? You say this guy is untouchable, unbeatable, but
Well,
he
that's
could
some
have
guys
gone
from
there and
Twitter.
just smoked Devin real quick.
That's them dudes from Twitter. If you're talking to me, I'm reasonable. I understand. Look, you don't think Shakur thinks that he can lose this fight? Absolutely. If not, he would have taken the 25%. If there
So
was even
what do you think?
any,
What do you think for guys like Frank Martin, who's rumored to be fighting Shakur Stevenson next, saying, "Hey man, I'd have took that 25%
of
in a
of
heartbeat."
of, of course he would have. Of course he would have. Look, all these guys would have taken it. You offer it to Frank Martin. You offer it to Michelle Rivera. All these guys would have taken that shit. Of course, because at
Nigga,
the
I
end
would
of
have
the
took
day,
that shit for 3%.
bro, me too. Me too. But look, what I'm trying to tell you is Shakur. Look, Shakur Stevenson, as you know, you've seen him on Twitter. He has an ego. Stevenson has an ego. He cried in on live TV because he lost the fight. What do you think? What do you think would go through his mind if he loses to Devin Haney for 20 and only for 25%? He would go ballistic. He loses shit. You know what I mean? He
What if
understands.
people thought it was a robbery too? That was
Right,
suck.
exactly. That too. Now think of it like this. Now what if Devin says, yo, 50-50? Now in Shakur's mind is like, okay, even if I lose, I'm still getting a fat ass paycheck. I might not get the belts, but I'm getting a fat stack. But for 25%, like a guy like Shakur Stevenson who has an ego, who cries on Twitter all fucking day, and he's been annoying me. I ain't even gonna lie. Um, he cries about everything. He cried about being in the thumbnail of the epilogue Showtime episode and not even being in it. He cries about everything. So a guy like that, you really think that he's not gonna like lose his shit if he loses against Devin Haney, and on top of that, he's not really getting a good a check for it? Of course he will. He knows this would be his toughest fight, and there is a very high chance that he could lose this fight. It's high risk, low reward, money wise. So that's why he didn't take it.
And now see this guy Freddie G. He's one of the Shakur fans I've been talking about because he's like, well, Shakur is worth more than 25%. Well, yeah, okay.
100% he is.
Devin Haney's worth more than
Hey,
25%.
hey,
But hey,
real quick,
he took his win.
let me give TC a shout out. He said, "Yo, I like the Southpaw guy. I appreciate you, TC." But no, he's 100% right. Freddie G is he's worth more than 25%. You know that, bro. Now, let me ask you this: if it was the other way around, if Shakur was undisputed and he offered Devin Haney 25%, what would you say?
Take that shit and beat this motherfucker's ass.
Man, stop that. No,
What
you
the
wouldn't.
fuck?
25% for an
Hell yeah, I would.
undisputed fight, bro.
Are you crazy?
Bro, an
Hell
undisputed
yeah.
fight when the minimum,
Hell yeah.
bro, when it
Dude,
comes to a
are you
mandatory,
I
listen,
told
listen.
him to do that shit. I told him to do that shit with motherfucking what's his name? Cambosis for
Bro,
sure.
yes, bro,
Hell yeah.
you could be Cambosa. Look, listen. Let me just tell you this, bro. Oh my god. This fight, when it comes to a mandatory fight, the
Bro,
minimum purse
so
is
you got
70-30.
look, think about it.
That's the minimum.
You guys are contradicting yourselves because
How am I contradicting myself?
there's no way that you guys can say Shakur Stevenson beats Devin Haney, all this shit, and then say that, well, 25% is too low for him to fight. Like, nigga, smoke Devin Haney, get him out of here. And then you can call the shots. Like, what are we talking about here?
That's not how it works, bro. That's not how it works. You don't just beat somebody and you become the shot maker in a rematch. That's not how it works, bro.
Yes,
Why
it
do, why do
does.
why do people know it doesn't? Okay. So
Yes, it
if that's
does.
how it works. Okay, so if that's how it works, why did Canelo Alvarez offer Dimitri Bivol the same amount of money after Bivol just whooped his ass? Tell me.
Because
If
Bivol's a
if
fucking nobody. That's why.
because Bivol's a fucking nobody. Okay. So Shakur's a global superstar. Is that what you're telling me?
He got more worth, more stock
No,
to
he
his name
doesn't.
than
Stop.
Bivol.
No, he the fuck he doesn't. Stop
Yes, he
it. No,
does.
he does not. Bivol actually beat a fucking superstar in Canelo Alvarez, and he beat the
No, I'm
shit out of
saying
him.
I'm
Come
I'm
on,
not
bro.
saying he has a better resume, but I'm just saying in America, motherfuckers will show out for Shakur more than the fucking Bivol fight, and you know
Okay.
that's the fucking truth.
Okay. Well, look, maybe yeah, sure. Maybe in New Jersey, probably. But listen, what
See,
I'm trying to
so
tell.
you
Well, look,
telling
look,
me
look. What I'm getting
if
at.
hold on. So you're telling me if Bivol and Shakur had a fight same night in Vegas, just different venues,
Mhm.
who do you who do you think they'll go? What fight they'll go to? See Bivol or see Shakur? And they say let's just
Honestly,
say they just fought
I
some
don't know.
bum off the ranking.
Um, fuck, I don't know. Probably Shakur by
Not
a
just
little
talking
bit.
shit. I don't know who knows. Shakur don't be something
Yeah,
like that either.
that's what I'm saying. Like neither guy is like a draw either. But what I'm trying to say is, just because you beat a guy in the rematch clause, that doesn't mean you're going. Because obviously there would be a rematch clause. That doesn't mean that you're gonna get all this money and oh yeah, I call the shots on. No, that's not how it works, bro. Like it sounds good. It sounds good on paper, but that's not realistically. That's not how it goes. And for example, Devin Haney, he didn't get that much more for the Kambosos rematch, even though he beat the shit out of him and it wasn't even close, right? So it doesn't work like that. That's all I'm saying. So look,
Haney took a worse deal than fucking Shakur Stevenson was being presented, and that shit's crazy.
yeah, probably, but at the end of the day, too, look,
Do you know the
Shakur
type of
Stevenson,
bugs that they and snakes that they got in Australia, nigga, and all types of creatures?
But look. What I'm trying to tell you is when it
And
comes
this nigga
to
couldn't even
mandatory,
fight Devin in his backyard.
when it comes to
Come on,
a
bro.
mandatory, matter of fact, Shakur Stevenson is what his mandatory for the WBC or WBO. What title is it? He's a
Shakur
mandatory for
Stevenson
one of
about to
them.
fight Frank Martin for the WBC belt.
Okay, so that means
You know
he was
what,
Devin's mandatory.
man? I
All right,
wouldn't
man,
be
answer the goddamn
surprised.
question,
Hold
bro.
on, one second. I'm gonna answer the question, but then after this, I got to dip.
Yeah,
Shakur Stevenson, I wouldn't be surprised if the WBC makes some type of fake little tournament between Cambosis versus Loma and Frank versus Shakur. And say the winner is fighting for the mandatory spot, not the belt.
that's hilarious. Would have surprised me. But no, listen. When it comes to a mandatory, the split is always 70-30. So he's offering him less money than what the split is. You know what I mean? So come on.
With the WBC, then why he petitioned to the WBO though?
Look, what do you mean?
Hold on, Shakur Stevenson, he wrote a letter to the motherfucking WBO talking about he wants to request the fucking mandatory spot. And
Right.
have you seen their percentages?
No, no. Wait, WBO? I thought it was a WBC.
No, he wrote the WBO. He just tweeted the WBC
So, oh, okay. So,
because
what
the
is the percentage for
WBC said,
WBO?
hell nah, Lomachenko's our number one guy up there.
So what's the percentage for the WBO?
That's just like 20%.
That's crazy.
I know,
That's
right?
crazy. Why
But
the
shit,
fuck would you? Oh no. All right,
I
whatever.
don't know. But, hey, bro, I gotta get up out of here.
All right,
We gonna
Brody.
chop
I'm
we
gonna
gonna
holler
chop
at
it
you.
up again.
I'll holler at you.